Yeah. All right. And we're live, baby.
What's up, brother?
What's up, brother? What's going on, everybody? Welcome to the Oversell Podcast. It's been a long time since we've done one of these. But hey, life gets busy. We get involved, but we're always here when it counts. And speaking of it counting, WrestleMania is upon us. We are, 2 weeks away? Like 2.5 weeks away? Yes, it is.
3. When's the date?
April 4th, I want to say.
Really?
Oh, no. It's April 12th.
April.
I think it's night one.
WrestleMania 40, right?
WrestleMania 40.
Oh, maybe you're right, dude. The 6th and the 7th.
Yeah.
Bro, how is that possible? They're going to do Mania in 2 weeks outdoors in Philly? Bro.
Yeah, it's going to be cold as shit.
I mean, that's just stupid. I didn't even think about that. I thought it was going to be at the end of April. So I'm thinking to myself, like, that's not bad. You know, like, it'll be in the 60s, whatever. Bro, at
April
night.
6th and 7th in Philly.
Let's go through this real quick.
All right. So we've got a few match predictions that everybody thinks are pretty much coming, which is Jay versus Jimmy, which I think we have to have at this point, right?
Yeah. Yes, we do. I don't like how they led into it, but okay. So go ahead.
I mean, I agree with you. It's kind of like but this is a WrestleMania match. It's a match that kind of has to happen at Mania. You know what I'm saying?
I'm super pissed that Jay should have beaten Gunther 2 weeks ago, and we should have gone into WrestleMania brother versus brother for the IC championship.
Yes, I agree with that 100%. That should have been the move. It's time for Gunther to listen. I don't want to see Gunther lose because I love Gunther as the Intercontinental Champion.
Mm-hmm.
But it's time for him to move on to a better title. And for him to do that, he has to lose the IC at some point.
I agree.
And that was a perfect spot to do it. And they just decided no, because I guess they want to have some big epic matchup with Gunther at Mania, but then they gave him Sami Zayn.
I'm so happy. We can just sort of parlay right into next, right? We could segue right into the next thing.
Yeah.
I'm so happy you brought that up because Sami Zayn, to me, I'm not a Sami Zayn fan.
I know you're not.
I've been very vocal about that. I think he's done some good work. Listen, let me preference this by saying just because I'm not a fan of somebody doesn't mean I don't think their work is good. I'm not a fan of Kevin Owens, but he's good, right? Yeah. Like just because I'm not a fan of him doesn't mean they're not good. I'm not going to sit here and say they suck. They don't. They're very good.
Yeah.
But I'm just not a fan in particular. It's not my style. But Sami Zayn here is once again forced. Chad Gable and Gunther have had amazing matches, and they missed the boat on letting Chad Gable win that belt. Mm-hmm. And they could have easily come back around and let him finish this. At the very least, have some controversy and do a triple threat match with the three of them.
Yeah, I agree with that 100%. And like, if you're not going to give it to Jay for the Jay Jimmy match, then give the match to Gable because that's going to be the better match. Right? So
I agree.
We were just talking about it. Like, okay, you decided not to give it to Jay. Fine. Okay, we can accept that. We'll just get a random, regular brother versus brother match at WrestleMania.
Yeah.
For whatever reason. I mean, like, there's a reason behind it, but it just seems kind of like not pointless, but kind of pointless at this point.
If Rikishi is not the special guest referee and we're just getting a straight up brother versus brother with nothing, it's an opportunity grossly missed.
Yes,
dude. Like
that I agree with.
I mean, everyone knows this match is going to be dope. They're both really good in the ring, man. There's a lot going on with the Yeet, no Yeet. Both of them have been really good. I mean,
It's going to be entertaining, to say
yeah,
the least.
Jimmy was awesome in the Rumble. Jay's been awesome on his own. They play well off each other. They did it their whole lives. So I'm pumped, but like they just, dude. I mean, at the end of this, in each one of these, I'm going to give you a little bit of where I feel they missed the boat. Maybe I'm wrong. Maybe I'm overthinking it, and you'll tell me. But
No, I agree with you.
so we're gonna go. Give me the next. Give me the next match.
So that being said, before we get to the next one, I do think that Sammy and Gunther are going to put on a barn burner of a match.
Oh, both always do.
Oh, they always do. So I think it's going to be an entertaining match. But again, I would rather see Gable in that spot, or like we said, Jimmy versus Jay.
Yeah.
So we don't know the contestants for this yet, but I do like where they're heading with this. There's going to be a 6-pack ladder match for the tag team titles. So we're finally bringing tag teams back into the fucking company and doing something with them. So Judgment Day is obviously involved. Now they're saying there's going to be 2 SmackDown teams and 3 Raw teams.
Saw that
added into this. So the 6 teams that are going to be on this week's Monday Night Raw for spots are New Day versus Alpha Academy, which is going to be Otis and Akira.
Wow.
So I'm assuming New Day's. Yeah, it's not New Otis and Gable. It's Otis and Tozawa. So you know the New Day's winning that. So you got to assume New Day's going to be in here. Awesome Truth versus Indus Sheer.
Yep.
Which I'm assuming that's going to be Awesome Truth. Comes
Gotta
out of the
be
end
Awesome
of that
Truth.
one, right? Because they're not going to put Indus Sheer in there. And then this one bothers me because I want to see both of these teams in the 6-pack match. Is DIY versus the Creed Brothers.
I mean, that's going to be a very, very premier match. Both have been doing great work. I'm also, I've also said it. I'm not a fan of DIY. I don't think I think it's like when these guys start to get like as perennial middle card guys, like Ciampa, Ciampa, he was so over in NXT as like a premier dude, and then he goes to WWE. I mean, he's hurt a lot, and then he gets lost in the mix. And Johnny Gargano.
Was also, I mean, with Ciampa especially, I know that there was some infighting with that because Hunter's a big Ciampa guy.
Yeah,
and when Vince was in charge of stuff, he knew that and kind of wanted to bury him because of it. With that little tete-a-tete that these 2 guys are having. So I think he became a product of that also. But I think bringing them back together for DIY, because singles for them on the main roster, I don't think they work as well as they did in NXT. But as a tag team, I think they could be a premier tag team in the main roster.
Yeah, maybe I didn't give him a chance. I mean, I'm not, like I guess
you didn't really watch NXT when DIY were the tag team down there.
Correct. So it definitely felt to me, it was like, okay, they're both not as successful as we thought they were. They're both mid-card guys. Let's go back to something that worked there and we'll see what happens here. So like, it would literally be, honestly, dude, it'd be if like Harlem Heat was in NXT. Then they went up to the main roster and Booker T broke off from Stevie Ray. They both got no reaction and they went back to Harlem Heat because it worked, So listen, I know it's tough, dude, when tag teams are broken up, especially in a different show. Like NXT is so unique, bro. It's so niche. And the fans who watch it, it's a much smaller arena anywhere they go. And it's like, it is more of a hardcore base,
Yeah.
And
plus, I mean, they let them off the leash a little bit more in NXT. They let them do different things in NXT. There's just a more, I don't know how to say it.
It feels experimental to me. Like it feels more experimental. Like
they're taking bigger risks, like character wise, like in the ring wise, like They're
They'll
taking
use
bigger risks as far as like trying different things out to see if they work.
the mic work. It is like very rookie-esque, but it really works because everyone who goes is like they're good with that very organic feel. Like they know they're up and coming. They're letting them play their character out. Where, as in WWE, when you come up to the big show, if you aren't good on the mic right away, people will literally cancel you off the show.
Yeah.
Right. So it's a whole different vibe.
It's
Listen.
everything. You have to have your character ready when you get up there. You have to like there's everything goes into it, you know. You lose all of that heat that you had in NXT, and you have to like kind of start from the bottom again.
Yeah, it's true. Okay. All right. Listen,
You know?
I'm either one of those teams, I guess at the end of the day, I would be good with moving on. So I'm good with that.
Yeah, I mean, like I agree with that. I wanted to see them both in there, which is why
Yeah.
like it's a weird move to put into Sure in this, you know, I don't know. It just so if we get like say Creed Brothers, Judgment Day, New Day, and then Awesome Truth, and then two teams from SmackDown, it should at the very least a 6-pack ladder match for the tag team titles. It's going to be a train wreck, and that's what we want to see. You know what I mean?
Yeah, I mean the titles are. I mean, listen, I saw that. I saw this. I saw this the other day online. I want to give credit to the site. It'll hit me. I think it was like maybe the pro wrestling. But they said something that really resonated with me about it, and they said, you know, the tag team titles are so irrelevant that they had to go so extreme in order to have eyes back on it. And it really, I was like, wow, they're so right, dude, because
Yeah.
they destroyed the tag team division.
Yep.
They've had these tag teams linked up, the titles linked up and hostage forever. The guys who have them never fight in tag team title and fights. And if they would have just had any old tag team, you know, for the championship, you'd have been like, oh, wow. Right. But now guys like you and I who were sort of out on it are like, okay, interesting. Right.
Yeah. And like
they have to fucking lose, bro.
And I don't like being out on it because I've always been a huge tag team
You are a
wrestling
tag team
guy.
title. I'm not. You are.
You know what I'm saying? I've always been that. You know what I'm saying? Like, but that's because it was always an interesting division. And then they just killed the entire division recently. And they were at a point where the division was probably the best it's ever been. And then they nuked it. Like, you had the Street Profits, you had the New Day, you had the Usos, you know what I'm saying? Then you had all these up and coming tag teams that were coming out of the work. Then you had these guys who were just sticking together to try and make something happen with it. And it was all good.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? And then they were just like, all right, well, we're going to turn the Street Profits heel and make them irrelevant, break up the Usos, the New Day all got injured. Like
the division, I think the tag team division.
I do assume that the Street Profits are going to wind up in this match also as one of the tag team matches.
I agree. They have to.
As one of the SmackDown matches.
Yeah, they have to.
Yeah.
I mean, I don't know if you agree with me here, but I feel like the peak of the tag team division was a few years back when you had the New Day with Big E.
Yes.
You had the Wyatt family. You had the Usos. And you had the Shield. And you had Roman and Seth as the tag team champions. At the time, if you remember, what's his name was the United States champion.
Yeah, Ambrose.
And I felt like you had.
But then you also had all the new guys coming up from NXT. You had the Ascension.
Yes, bro, I was going to say that.
You had the Revival. You had Aiden English and Simon Gotch. Whatever, I don't remember what their tag team was called. You had Enzo and Cass, who, I mean, admittedly were terrible tag team, but super popular on the mic.
Yep.
You know what I mean? Like Enzo couldn't wrestle out of a paper bag, but whatever, because the crowd went electric every time he came out.
Yeah, I mean it's tough, man. It's sad because at the end of the day, I feel like something that WWE fluctuates in struggling to do is highlighting each belt, right? So we get caught in like where that particular belt is premiering in the card. So if there's a belt that's the last match, that's the premier match. That's the match they highlight.
Yeah.
If there's a belt that is in the beginning, it's like, okay, you're seeing this banger in the beginning and banger at the end, but who do you have in the middle? And it's almost like you're burying those belts, but it doesn't have to be that way if you make it a great card. So you can have the tag team belts in the middle. You can have the WWE Championship in the middle and have the tag team belts at the end if the matches are right, right? Like you can put it anywhere you want. And right now, truth is, and this is where WWE really went right here. Every belt has got a fucking champion that is needed. Roman Reigns, top heel. Seth Rollins is arguably the top baby face.
I mean, it's
right?
like a 1 and 2 between him and Cody, right?
Yes. Super
Yeah.
over. Belt is relevant.
100%.
Gunther. IC titles never meant more around anybody's waist. I don't care who they fucking tell me. You can go back to Shawn. You can go back. I don't care. You can go back to Ultimate Warrior. I don't care. This never been more relevant.
Absolutely.
United States Championship, a real edgy up and coming Logan Paul. And yes, we've seen other guys do great work with the United States Championship. John Cena in his open challenge. We've seen a lot of people do great work. Logan Paul's fucking killing it. And and then the women's championship with Rhea Ripley, right? So like you have 5 belts of the potential 8, because you have women's tag team, which is dog shit,
which is relevant.
Men's tag team, dog shit, and the women's WWE championship because Rhea's got the heavyweight.
Yeah.
And Io Sky now with Bailey, I think it'll be great, but she's held on to that way too long. It's been fucking irrelevant. And
well, they haven't given her anybody either. Like it's
correct.
She's been holding it and not doing anything. So it's like, and we're going to get to that too, because that's a matchup on the card. So we might as well just get into that one because we do have Io versus Bailey.
Yeah.
I
mean,
Bailey's got to win. You know what I mean? You got to get the belt off of Io at this point, simply because Io's not doing anything. And to be honest with you, the best move that they could have done for Io was have her be the one to break away from Damage Control and have a rivalry with either Asuka or Kairi.
Yeah, I mean, I think
at least you have history there. They can go back to when they were in Japan, and I know you would hate it because the promos would all be in Japanese.
Oh, no, awful. It's as awful as it gets right now. I mean, dude, I cannot, when someone gets on the mic, and it's almost, and I have to give credit where credit's due. With Drew McIntyre lately on the mic, he's been really great on the mic with the things he says. But bro, when you have a championship on somebody who either doesn't speak English or has an accent, bro, I'm just speaking true from the heart. Obviously, I have friends of all different walks of life. It's hard to follow. You know what I mean? It's hard to like buy into it because you're like, ugh. Not that they're not great, right? It's just like Asuka's great in the fucking ring. Shinsuke Nakamura's great in the ring. You're like,
it's not like what they did with Shinsuke in the last run with Seth doing the promos. Instead of having him in the ring with the mic, doing the vignettes with him, like it really brought a different depth to his character. And you were like, oh shit, like this guy is dangerous. Like we got to worry about this guy. Like he's, so it kind of gave him like an anime villain vibe.
I'm not interested in the match at all. Bailey's got to win. So,
yeah.
And as soon as Bailey wins, I'll be very, very interested in that title again, because I'll feel like one of the core women in the industry will have the belt around her waist. Mm-hmm. And, and let's see what she does with it.
Yeah. I mean, listen, Bailey's always good to have a strap on. No pun intended.
Yeah. Yes.
But, she's gonna be a great champion. She's always a great champion whenever she has the belt. So why not give it to her and let everybody else chase her? Because it's better to chase Bailey than, especially when she's playing the heel Bailey. Like face Bailey, like when she was the hugger and everything like that, you wanted her chasing constantly.
Yeah.
You know, when she gets the title, she's got to turn heel because now she's so much better at being a heel than she was at being a face.
Yeah, my problem is she's going up against the villain. Tough,
Yeah,
dude.
it's almost like you have two heels going up against each other, which is tough. LA Knight versus AJ Styles.
What a mega mid card.
Yeah.
I mean,
it's a match that no one really gives a shit about, but we all want to see.
Yeah, I actually don't give a fuck about either of them, but I'm pumped.
Yeah.
Like,
Yeah.
We knew this was going to happen. They literally neutered LA Knight and AJ Styles, when his injury happened, it was at such a unique time. And I think it was inevitable. They had no choice but to not put him in the mix. Like they forced it when he came back. Okay. But like it's odd to say this, but he's not a Randy Orton, bro. Like Randy Orton is a fucking megastar. When Randy Orton comes back, you can do whatever you want with him. When AJ Styles comes back, you have to figure out an angle, right? So it's hard. Like Randy Orton is the legend killer. So if he comes back and immediately fights for the Universal Championship, you're like, makes sense, right?
Yeah.
If AJ Styles does it, you're like, huh? So,
because it all depends on which version of AJ we're gonna get.
Yeah,
you know what I'm saying? Like that's the other thing too. Is like, are we gonna get face AJ? Or are we gonna get heel AJ? We're gonna get OC AJ? Like, I don't know. AJ is one of those guys that I feel like they could have done way more with for a long time if they had booked him out properly and given him a proper, I don't know, like,
you don't think they did?
I think at one point they were, and then I think the move for AJ would have been to give him a proper Bullet Club to be around. Not the degenerate fucking Bullet Club that they gave him. You know what I'm saying?
Okay.
They let him be the leader, let him be the leader of a real, like, Judgment Day style Bullet Club.
Why does so I'm glad you said that. I like vehemently disagree. I think giving AJ the championship the couple times they did, and then having him face the Undertaker in that match that he did, I thought they did solid by him. But I would have liked to have seen this AJ, this like ruthless dick kind of whatever, because he looks jacked now and he's got this like attitude about him. And I wish this would have been AJ earlier versus coming in and being the super over AJ and the guy that everyone loves. Like I think the guys now, everyone's in charge of a faction. Karrion Kross.
I mean, that faction's ridiculous.
Bobby Lashley.
Worst thing I've ever seen.
But I'm just saying, Bobby Lashley, Finn Balor, like all these guys have to be in charge.
But that's what I'm saying. Instead of the Judgment Day, because you could have Balor with AJ as being like founding members of the Bullet Club. You know what I'm saying? You could put Shinsuke in there. You know what I'm saying? And really do this like Bullet Club America, basically.
Yeah, no, I see. I want them. WWE, what they're doing poor is they're not expanding or decreasing on stables. They keep them status quo for too long.
Yeah.
So, like Judgment Day at this point, like Andrade, they got to add them. Like they have to add. They do like you can't go with the same. Listen, no one gives a fuck about JD McDonough. He's the ugliest looking dude I ever seen. His eyes, I never seen wider separated eyes in my life.
He's a real life Funko Pop, bro.
Bro, it's crazy. It's awkward. It makes me uncomfortable. I got to turn the TV off. And you're not doing enough. And not that I'm a fan of the Judgment Day, but like, let's call spade a spade. If they're doing good work, then let's do something with it.
See, I think Judgment Day's been pretty successful.
So that's what I'm saying. So if they're doing good work, well, let's do something with it, right? Like, let's Let's add another member or get rid of a member. And don't tell me the R-Truth thing was adding and decreasing because that's ridiculous.
It wasn't, but it was good TV.
It was great TV because R-Truth is great TV. But,
Yeah.
Same thing. Like the Bloodline. We've had this awkward Roman Solo Jimmy. We got a very forced Rock. You got to add people.
Bloodline kind of like wrote themselves into a corner with it, though, because they didn't have enough family members.
Right.
To kind of bring in to be legitimate Bloodline members. You know what I'm saying? Like we were talking recently about the dude from I can't remember his name right now.
Tonga.
Yeah, Tonga. He was Kama's kid, and he could be a member at some point if they really do bring him over.
WWE just should have signed. They should have signed them all, and they should have had it where they all interfered. They didn't have to be at the ring at the same time. Like I don't know how creative doesn't strike on this stuff. You don't have to have guys who look good. You don't have to have guys who talk. You don't have to have guys who come to the ring all the time. You remember when the Outsiders first showed up at WCW?
Yeah.
And they would come from the stands with bats, beat up on people, and leave. They would show up at the announcer's table, right at the entrance, talk some shit and leave. They didn't do anything real like of substance for a while. And my thing is like
one would say they never did anything of substance.
But yes. I mean. Yeah, but yes, but except for destroy WCW. But it's like why not get these guys that are really their cousins, have them come in from the stands, beat up on people, and just leave. And then as family members, they could all be looking at them week after week and thinking like, are they with us or not? Right?
Mm-hmm.
And how do you not have this angle? You can't tell me it costs a lot of money to get two guys from fucking ICW. Like, I don't understand. You can't sell me
Where's what's Jacob Fatu wrestling, right? GCW?
Yeah, come on, bro. You can't tell me it costs, and that's an angle you can take. And then, listen, it took.
And at one point, they had Sean Malata.
Yes,
because he was in the Cruiserweight Challenge. Remember when they tried to revive the Cruiserweight belt?
Yeah,
that Cruiserweight Open. He was in it, and that's all they talked about was like he's the Usos' little cousin. Blah blah blah. He's related to Roman, related to Rock, and same bloodline.
I'm telling you, you wouldn't think it'd be dope.
Like, and he was ring ready then, so I don't understand why they would at least bring him in.
There's really 3 of them technically right now that are in the wrestling scene and gettable, right?
Yeah.
So my thing is
and Jacob Fatu is probably the least experienced out of all of them, right? So, like he's probably the greenest out of all of them.
Absolutely. Yeah. And not that Roman was green when they were in the Shield, but what I'm saying is, why not have them do a Shield-esque thing where the 3 of them come out of the stands, always show up when their family is wrestling, and do something and make it look like they're going to attack them, or make it look like it's going to be like bloodline against bloodline, and then a couple months in, it looks like, oh my God, they're part of the bloodline, dude. Like, holy shit. And then you go from 3 to 6, right? And then you have this, like when Roman came out and he had both Usos, Sami Zayn, and Paul Heyman with him, and Solo, it looked like he had a fucking army.
Yeah.
Bro, like, how do you not know what people want to see? How do you not know what angle to take here?
If you would kept that together and added The Rock into it, and then added in, even if they added in one more guy, even if it was just the Tonga kid or whoever, you know what I'm saying? Jacob Fatu or Malata or one of these guys, right? Even if you just added in one more, it would look like the entire island of Samoa was coming down.
Absolutely, bro.
You could have had him do a haka before the freaking...
I was gonna, bro. You took the words out of my mouth. You know how dope. First of all, there's nothing more powerful than seeing that.
Yeah.
So, could you imagine Roman and Rock leading that?
I mean, wild.
I mean, dude, that's fucking good TV, man. People are gonna tune in and say, bro, like, is there anybody in the WWE that's gonna be able to stop this faction?
Yeah.
Like realistically,
Well, that's what, like, I think they dropped the ball with this whole thing a while ago when they had what was it, the Samoan street fight or the Samoan
oh, no, the tribal war, right?
tribal
Whatever.
warfare. Tribal
Tribal
warfare.
warfare.
Yeah. And they didn't, it was just a regular match. Just a regular no DQ match.
Bro, you
Like,
could
they
have at
didn't even
least
put
put
one
a
fucking tiki torch up. Like,
bro, I'm done with you tonight. I was gonna say you could have at least put tiki torches up. Put fucking tiki torches. Do something. Put a couple lasers around the ring. I don't understand.
They didn't do anything. And they're
Bro.
still like, they're still not leaning into this. And it's mind boggling to me. But we'll get to the bloodline stuff in a little while because we got a few more we got to go through. The United States Championship. Logan Paul as of right now, it's Logan Paul versus Randy Orton.
Fun match.
We're unaware if Kevin Owens might be added to it. There's also a possibility of them turning it into a 6-man tag and it not even being for the title, adding in Waller and Theory, and then a third person on the other side.
Hope not.
I hope not. I'd rather it be either just Paul versus Orton or a triple threat with Owens thrown in there. I think.
Listen, I agree with you. I think they do that because they feel as though it'll look if maybe they were at the development center and they had a run through and it just didn't look like it made sense, right? Like Randy Orton was so much superior to Logan, it just doesn't look like it makes sense in the ring. Then maybe maybe they're like, all right, we got to kind of protect this a little bit because Randy Orton is far too prestigious for a U.S. title, and Logan Paul, we don't want to take any steam away from him because he's killing it, right? So I could see them doing that to protect them. But as far as like wrestling capabilities, I definitely love to see Logan jumping around the ring and Randy Orton catching him and slamming him. And
yeah, absolutely.
I think Logan's earned my respect, bro. Like
he's earned my respect. I mean, listen, the kid's good. He looks sloppy from time to time.
He looks erratic.
He looks erratic. Yeah, erratic. And he may overshoot his shots a lot of times. Like I really get worried about this kid.
Yes.
But you're right. I mean, he's been impressive. He's been very, very impressive. His mic skills are very, very impressive. His comedy chops when he's doing those little backstage things with Theory and stuff like that. He's pretty funny. He's likable. He's very good at this. And I think for me, I think he wins the title. I think he retains the title. I don't think it's going to be clean by any means, but I don't think it should be.
Nah, the heels never win clean.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. Like, it shouldn't be a clean win, but that's what it should be. Either hits Randy with the brass knuckles or Theory and Waller and KSI and 12 other goons that he has in the back. Help him win it, whatever the case may be. Yep. If Owens gets added to it, then that's another wrinkle that you can kind of hide Logan behind. So I do think that he winds up winning the title though.
Okay. I by the way, I agree with you. Yep.
Yeah.
Who else we got?
Let's see here. Where is it?
I mean, I know we have the two big ones, and we have Rhea Ripley against Becky.
I think that's it. So far. Okay. Matches that get added, but trying to see if there's anything else before we go to Becky and so Becky and Rhea there's obviously going to be more matches added because this is like one card's worth of matches, and we know we have 2 nights.
Last year they did 5 and 6, 5 on one night and 6 on the other. It wasn't a lot.
That's true.
It wasn't a lot. They did a lot. There was a lot of different showcase stuff, and if you remember with with Roman and his match, it was like, dude, there's like 20 minutes of entrances.
Yeah. I
And
mean, like, listen, Roman's match, no matter what, is going to be an hour long in
yeah,
itself with 20-minute entrances at least.
yeah, that's what I'm saying.
But
So
Becky Rhea,
Becky Rhea.
I mean, in all honesty, for me, I mean, it's going to be a good match. It's going to be Becky and Rhea. We've seen Becky and Rhea before. We're going to see it again.
Yeah.
It's just I don't see a version of this where Becky winds up taking the belt off of Rhea at this point, because I don't think it's the right person to take the belt off of her.
I want to believe you.
Yeah.
I love the reasoning behind it. I just feel that I feel like, why give Becky this push? Kind of random, because Becky's always over, but like she wasn't getting some championship push.
I think
Why?
they were getting a lot of heat by giving championship matches, throwing Rhea basically meatballs for the past 6 pay-per-views. So they decided to give her somebody legitimate.
Right, but after Nia Jax, right? I don't think like you can say there was really a meatball sent her
Zelina
way.
Vega?
No, I'm saying I like Nia Jax, but for me, you don't think like Liv Morgan? You don't think?
Listen, I think Liv would be a better push. I think
Yeah,
I honestly, I don't know if she's ready yet, but the match I want to see is Jade.
absolutely. So, but
You
that's
know what
not.
I'm saying? Like, I don't know. I don't listen. When I say ready yet, I mean ready by their standards.
Yeah.
You know
So,
what I'm saying? Because like, you know how they are with their developmental. They're gonna make sure she's 100% ready before they throw her into big matches like that. But she's someone
okay.
you could legitimately throw into a championship run almost immediately.
So let me ask you a question. If with that reasoning,
Yeah.
do you feel like it's more important for Jade to beat Rhea, or is it more important for Jade to beat one of the pillars of the women's industry, the man Becky Lynch, when it happens?
I
Because there
think
was
Rhea has become a pillar of the women's industry.
no, I'm
I think it's one and the same. You know what I'm saying?
okay.
I
Because
don't think it's really more important than the other.
interesting. So I listen, dude. There's a difference between The Rock beating Stone Cold,
Yeah.
and there's a difference between The Rock beating Hollywood Hogan.
Yes.
So that's why I say to you, is there a difference between Jade beating Rhea
I
and
mean,
it because
that
Becky was
difference.
around and built this?
Yes, but also Becky's not 40 years over the hill like Hogan was when he faced The Rock.
No, but
You know what I'm saying? Like,
the
I think
moment we were talking moment.
the moment. Yeah. Listen, Jade coming up, I think there's 2 legitimate people that she should be going up against. Size wise, popularity wise, whatever you want to call it, is Bianca and Rhea.
Yeah, I mean,
Because when you put Jade
can't
against
argue that.
Becky,
Can't argue
when you
that.
put Jade against Becky, as much as Becky Lynch is the man and she's been a pillar of the women's and she created this whole fucking thing, or actually, you know what? There's a third one, but she's injured to Charlotte.
I mean, Charlotte is
versus
it.
Jade would be a big one. Yeah, Charlotte is it, right? But she's injured, so I'm kind of like excluding her from it currently. But yes, if Charlotte was able to come back, obviously her versus Jade would be a fucking amazing match too.
I mean, right
Jade
now,
is 3 times the size as Becky Lynch.
yes. No, I mean,
Right?
right now, if you had to say, give me your top 5. I don't want to get in depth, but if like your top 5 of what the women's in WWE
Mhm.
women's industry looks like right now, top to bottom, like best wrestler or most dynamic wrestler, or somebody you feel is like at the top. So like if someone said, give me your number 1, I'm saying Charlotte.
Yeah.
Then
Yeah,
they say number 2, I'm saying Rhea. Then they
Yeah.
say 3, I'm saying Bianca. Right? Like is that like is the list
Yeah.
similar for you?
Yeah, it's very those all 3 of them are on my list.
Okay.
Becky's in there.
I would say Becky 4.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I might put Becky above Bianca,
No,
but
yeah, I would put Becky above Bianca, then Bianca at 4.
yeah.
Yes.
Yeah.
And
But
and then
regardless, we're all
5.
there. 5 is kind of a toss up at this point. I think Liv's there now that Alexa's been out for a
That's what
while.
I was
You
gonna
know
ask you. What about
saying?
Alexa? Yep. Okay.
'Cause, like, that's the other thing too is Alexa could be there, but Liv's. We don't know what's going to happen when Alexa comes back.
Dude,
You know what I'm saying? Because
they never have a chance to have everyone there at the same time, bro.
it's wild, man. It's wild. But Alexa's one of them. Like Alexa and Liv are kind of like 5-6 for me.
Yeah. I mean,
You know what I'm saying?
What do you do with all 6 of those women there at the same time, bro? And then Bailey, 7.
Yeah, and then you got Bailey too. You know,
What do you do? And by the way,
Bailey for me is kind of fallen off a little bit. In all
yeah,
honesty,
yes,
she's kind of looked sloppy in the ring. She's kind of like been.
yeah.
You know, her mic skills have been good because she's such an asshole on the mic, which is great.
Yes,
You
yes.
know what I'm saying? But in ring, she's kind of looked a little sloppy, a little slow, she's not landing her punches like she used to.
I agree.
I don't know. It's a little bit different for me with Bailey. So she's kind of gotten knocked down a few rungs by everybody else.
She's never. So remember, Bailey's always been like the fun-loving. She's never been a mic girl, right?
No, not just her deal.
So the fact that like she was thrusted onto the mic and then she's been a heel and she's done it relatively good. I would say like as good as Roman is doing it. Like they're both not savants on the mic, but you know, they're both good as heels. They're getting it done.
Yeah.
You know, and I feel like if they were all there and then you throw Jade in the mix,
Yeah.
you're like, hold, dude, this could be an 8.
And you still have Asuka. You still have Io and Kyrie. You know, like they're good wrestlers. I mean, don't get me wrong; they're not at the top, but they're good. They're good wrestlers to have in matches. You know what I'm saying?
Think about how deep a division.
Even
would have
Selena.
to- Think about
Selena's
how
a good wrestler.
Yeah, I mean, but just think about how deep a division would have to be if you said Asuka was 10.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. Like
That's deep. But
when
like
they're
right
all
now,
there, and not injured, it's a deep division.
yeah, it's sad, dude. They can never
Problem
get.
is they're not always all there. Like they're either getting injured or call it what it is. Half of them were pregnant at one time.
Yeah, Chelsea
Like-
Green's got to make a run, dude. She's so good.
Oh, plus you have Tiffany Stratton coming up.
Oh my god, legend, bro. Oh my god.
Yeah, dude, she is.
She might
everything
end
she's
up
been
being the
doing is
best of them all.
She might be. She might be.
She's
You might see a
good.
new with this new group of girls coming up. Your Tiffany Strattons, your Jades, your
Yeah.
you know,
That's a good call,
your
bro.
Chelsea Greens, you know, all these chicks that are coming up, they're gonna be getting bigger and bigger as the other ones kind of start riding off into the sunset a little bit.
Wow,
We're-
that's a great call.
right now we're at a pivotal point. I really do think, like, listen, whatever you want to say about both of these men's and women's divisions, they're all getting older. The people we've watched for the past 10 years are all getting up there in age. They're gonna start phasing out soon. You know, not everybody can be Rey Mysterio and Randy Orton wrestling into their fucking 50s, right? Edge, same thing. You know, these guys are gonna start phasing out soon, and we're starting to see the Tiffany Strattons, the Jades, the Austin Theories, the Grayson Wallers, you know, all these guys start really pushing up into the division. I'd say within 5 to 7 years, we see them at the top of everything.
So I'm oddly enough, and I think I was just sold on this, dude. The women's division has a brighter future than the men's.
It might. It really might.
We just named like Rhea is young.
Rhea's young.
She's a
She's
baby.
going to be around for a very long time.
Between Rhea and Tiffany Stratton and Jade, that's ridiculous.
Mm-hmm.
Like that, you're talking 3, and I hope Jade works out, man. Like I'm so pumped.
So do I. So do
And
I.
that's-
She looked great at Rumble. She looked awesome. at
Great. No. By the way, if she never wrestled again, she'll go down as like the greatest spot ever. Yeah. So you have those 3, and then like, if you go into the men's, you're I am sort of thinking after Roman goes, because like, bro, people don't realize main event Jay is 38.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying.
Like
These guys are all older.
Yeah.
Owens, Zayn, you know,
AJ Styles,
Rollins,
all of them.
all of them are up there.
You're looking at the next, and I don't know about you, Austin Theory and Waller, they're nice. Those guys, that doesn't scream like what I feel from Tiffany Stratton. I
Yeah.
feel
You know who I feel that
Jordan
from the
Stone,
men's side? Breaker and Mello.
Breaker and Mello. Okay. I
Yeah.
I haven't so I love Mello's look. The last few segments on the mic when he did WWE to me was like Roman Reigns forced, like the
Listen,
big dog in
yeah,
the yard. Um,
they
and
definitely need more development. It's not like I'm not saying they're ready now, but you get that feeling, especially from Breaker
yes,
and Mello.
yes, main event feel.
The same that main event feel you get from Stratton,
Yeah,
Jade. Obviously, Rhea's already been there, so
yes.
but like Stratton and Jade, Breaker and Mello, I think are kind of like hand in hand
I mean,
as far as that feeling.
if
Braun again, huge showing at the Rumble.
if they don't,
If they
dude,
don't
if they
fuck
don't,
him up,
yeah, dude, if they don't capitalize on his aura, like
mhm,
he comes out and even he sells it, like when like Ryback won matches and it was forced and you were like, okay, this big guy won a match, but there was no like pizzazz. There was no Braun just won a match the other day against a fucking NXT guy, whatever, on the main roster. He speared him and got up and he just fucking screamed.
yeah,
And you were like, whoa. You're like everyone knew he was winning. Everyone knew he was dominating,
yeah,
right?
of course,
But you were like, you actually believed that he was going in there not knowing he was going to win and he was going to saw through the guy, saw him in half. And he got up and he just fucking screamed, went nuts. And I was like, oh my God, dude, it reminds me. And the truth is like everyone tries to duplicate or replicate that Goldberg
yeah,
esque dominance. And remember, we were all wowed, right? And that's
of
what made
course.
him so legendary. He came out and you were like, this guy's never gonna lose, bro. He's got everything. And you look at Braun, you're just like, this guy's everything.
Yeah,
He's gonna be dominant for a long time. And you just don't want them to fuck that up. And I happen to like his he has this like Jersey Shore-esque look, not sound, but look where he's got
I know you're talking
that
about.
tight
Like,
V-neck with the cross over his chest, and he's like clean cut, and you expect him to be like, "Hey, yo," right? But he comes out and he's just, he says what he says, like he's like just a dominant regular guy, and he's like, "I'm gonna destroy this guy," right? And then he does the dog pound thing, and you're like, fuck, dude, I like this guy.
yeah,
So it's
I mean, you're not going to get any disagreement from me. I've been hyping him up for the past 2 years on this podcast.
no,
Like,
you have been, and it's always tough for us to envision it because we don't see a lot of crossover, bro. Meaning
yeah,
like, you know, outside of the Shield, where it's very rare where an entire faction ends up being successful on their own.
absolutely.
Um, but outside of that, and the women, because we didn't have a great women's division, so they came over and really did their thing. But outside of that, name me the guys that came up recently from NXT that were successful, because all the guys on the roster outside of that weren't known as NXT guys.
No,
So you're like, you know, you're sort of like left thinking to yourself, if I had to bank on one being successful for a long time, I'd say the women because all their success came from development. The
true.
men, you're like, what have you given me? So it's just, dude, it's bro, it's tough, man. And people say, yeah, well, Cody Rhodes, they were there, blah, blah, blah. And, all these things. Well, Cody Rhodes, there was in the developmental, but
Yeah.
I'm like, I don't know, man. I'm starting to get a little bit depressed. Actually, I'm like, who the fuck? Where's this men's?
No, see, like I look at it in the other side though. I think the future is bright because the thing about it too is we're thinking in terms of right now.
Hmm.
You have to be thinking in terms of 5 years from now because listen, Roman's not leaving tomorrow. Seth's not leaving tomorrow. You know what I'm saying? Like, these guys are going to be around for a couple more years. They're not going to be around for another decade, but 3 to 5 years, they're going to be around. So that gives time for these other guys to find their niche, find what they're doing, grow, get better, become that next level.
It's fair. I don't think Roman's is around as long as you think, dude.
I mean, listen, I think whenever he loses the title, he's either retiring or taking an extended period of time off.
Yeah.
We just don't know if he's going to lose the title this WrestleMania or next WrestleMania. But before we get into that, let's talk about Seth versus Drew, because we're going to go off into Roman, and that's the last one of the match. So Seth versus Drew, I mean, it could go either way for me, in all honesty. I know you think it's going to be Drew, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
It has to be Drew.
Yeah.
It can't not be Drew. He's fought for the title 2 or 3 times already. How many times? Yeah. How many times does he get to go in the ring and say, "I'm best for business. I'm going to do me now. I'm not going like." There's only so many different angles before they completely bury him, and only 1 or 2 things happen: he loses and leaves the company, or he wins the belt. I mean, bro, yeah. I'm just saying. There's no, and by the way, McIntyre's pretty over. They're not letting him walk, dude.
I mean, that may not be up to them.
I don't know. I think WWE learned. I think Moxley ended up being a big blow for them. I don't even think Daniel Bryan, because to me, Daniel Bryan went there and whatever the case may be, he was always hurt. You know, people loved him, but it wasn't a thing. I think Moxley was a big deal.
I don't think either one was a big blow for them. I think for them, yeah, I really don't, because at the end of the day, their motto, like, listen, the WWE, Triple H especially, their motto has always been the business keeps going whether you're here or not. Like, it's all about the company. So they don't I don't think they necessarily get that hurt when guys go off and do other things, because they know that they're still the WWE. You know what I'm saying? So I that's why I don't see them throwing a ton. Like, Tony Khan is the king of, I'm going to throw whatever WWE is going to give you, I'm going to triple it and get you over here just so I can steal one of their guys. And the WWE doesn't give a shit at the end of the day.
No, they've done a great job of being steadfast in their ways. The fact of the matter is, you know, I think the people have come over here that they lost were much more felt over there than the guys that we lost, meaning like Cody Rhodes leaving there and coming here.
Oh, it's huge. Way bigger blow to AEW than it was to WWE.
And I even think like Jade, right? The fact that like Jade is here now and they're building her up, and everyone there when she had the belt, right?
Yeah.
They were like, oh shit, right? So I think they've done a great job of picking their spots. My point is, like, Moxley does always have that big title feel, and
yeah, it would be one more guy that the WWE has to run around a title, right?
Yeah,
that's all Moxley would wind up being for them. You know what I'm saying? Because even when he had the title, they didn't really push him up into some elite status.
No, I think he alienated himself. I think he was really pushing his own shit too much.
Yeah, I think he wants to do what Moxley wants to do, and he wants to be the deathmatch king, and he wants to bleed on TV every week, and they weren't letting him do it, and you know, which is fine.
Can't have too many CM Punks, dude. You can't.
You can't. You can't. I think at the end of the day, you know, we've been having this little back and forth debate about this, and I think it's I don't necessarily think what the WWE does is wrong, but they do overly sanitize a lot of their wrestlers and their product, because like we talked about, it's image. They're still trying to sell the little kids. You know what I'm saying? Like, they still have that mindset. That's how they're making their money. So that's what they're going to do, you know? And some guys don't want that. Some guys want the blood and the guts and the crazy matches and this, that, and the other thing. I'm not a deathmatch guy. Like, I don't, even when ECW was around, like, I wasn't a Raven Tommy Dreamer guy. I was a Rob Van Dam, Jerry Lynn, Tajiri guy. You know what I'm saying? Like the more technical guys, because they were doing stuff that wasn't blood and guts, but was still something I'd never see on Monday Night Raw.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
Yeah. This Darby stuff is too much.
Yeah,
bro.
like I never want to see Darby Allin do something like that again, bro.
Oof.
Like it
That
was
spot
wild.
off the
That spot was
onto the
crazy.
glass.
Oh,
Everybody knew from 38,000 miles away that there was nothing other than him going through that was going to happen. And you're
yeah,
like, I don't want to see this, bro. Like, dude, it's
yeah.
not, to me, you're going to be looking at a guy who's he's literally Jeff Hardy. He's going to be fucked. He's going to be on
Yeah.
drugs. He's going to be on all sorts of medication. He's going to be backstage, has no idea where the fuck he is. And people are going to
100%.
be like, this is a sad story. And it's
Yeah.
all going to be because he wanted wow at that moment in time, instead of thinking like, hey, dude.
But you can get those wows without going that extreme
I
too.
couldn't agree more.
You know what I'm saying?
Yeah,
and this
dude.
is what I was talking about. Like, I wish the WWE would kind of like amp it up a little bit and just make a good middle ground for their guys. You know what I'm saying? Like, let them have a little bit more risk, just a little bit.
Yeah.
Let them take a little bit more risk, but don't go Darby Allin. Like, I don't want to see. I don't want to see pile drivers every week either. You know what I'm saying? Like,
yeah. No, dude, I really agree with you, man. It's not. And by the way, some of these matches, that's why when they're done well and you don't have to see this bloody mess,
yeah,
they're so good.
no, they are.
I'd much rather watch a Chad Gable Gunther match,
Yes,
or a triple threat of McIntyre, Gunther, Sheamus, than Darby Allin putting his body through a glass table. I don't.
And that's that. But that's the thing is, like, we're getting. My problem is that we're getting those matches in WWE so few and far between. You know.
Yeah, or it's just the same guys that are producing the match.
And it's just the same guys producing those matches. They're getting highlighted for those matches. And
Gunther's always putting on a fucking banger. Rollins is always putting on a banger.
Every Gunther match is amazing, right? But then when you look at it too, is there's no variety in any of these matches. Like, everybody's turned into John Cena with the 5 moves of doom. You know, they're not letting these guys kind of like go outside of the 5 moves that they're supposed to be doing. You know, and I think that's where they can loosen the reins a little bit. Look at guys like Owens and Zayn when they were down in NXT. And the crazy thing is they let them do it down in NXT, so I don't understand why they don't let them do it on the main roster. You know?
I mean, like, those power bombs onto the apron were rough, bro.
They were rough. I mean, maybe you take that out, but let you know what I'm saying? But but I'm serious. Like, maybe you take, like, all right, perfect example. On the indies, Kevin Owens would do a package pile driver. Looked dangerous as fuck. It was insane. I never want to see him do that to anybody because he's gonna kill somebody, right? So in NXT, they switched it to a package power bomb, and then instead of dropping the guy, spiking him on his neck, he kind of threw him off to the side and he landed on his back. Right? Perfect segue. He get himself to the main roster, like, you can't do that anymore. You were letting him do it in NXT. It was a cool looking move. It was something different people hadn't seen before. You know, and every now and then he breaks it out when he's like wrestling Sammy.
But why though? NXT is we told about it's very experimental.
Yes, but my thing is, all of that experimental that was working gets thrown out the window when they get moved up. And that's a problem.
We see that all the time, dude. The Ascension, we see that with the Viking
some guys,
Raiders.
Admittedly, some guys don't work. Viking Raiders is a perfect example. You ever watch them on NXT when they were the War Raiders?
Yeah, I mean, listen,
crowd's going nuts when they came out, and then their first appearance on the Monday Night Raw, they call them the Viking Raiders, and the crowd's like, "What the fuck? Like, you guys neutered these guys already?"
Yeah, it's true.
You know.
Yep.
Main event time.
Let's do it.
2 nights. Night 1, tag match. Rollins Rhodes versus The Rock and Reigns. I'm so all over the place with these matches, bro. So if Rollins and Rhodes win, Night 2, there's no bloodline out in the building or anywhere ever. They haven't really explained that stipulation that much either, because like, what happens if Rhodes and Rollins win and then the bloodline shows up anyway? Does Roman lose the belt?
Right.
You know what I'm saying? Like, what's stopping them from showing up?
So listen, let's be serious about it. Rock and Roman are going to win on night 1.
Okay.
And that's how Cody loses on night 2, and they can keep Cody relevant in the title picture.
You don't think a third shot at this, if he gets buried,
Bro, another one
would bury him? If he loses another loss at WrestleMania, buries him?
Bro, give me here's the thing.
Legitimately, like
I think
that's been the worry, right?
I absolutely think there's a risk, but here's the thing. He can't lose straight up.
No, he can't.
If they're going to keep
straight up,
the
he's buried. Yeah.
Buried. So it's the Brock Lesnar effect, right?
Yeah.
It's the Brock Lesnar effect of Rock comes back, fucks over his title shot, and essentially says, you know what, dude, you fucked me over in my match. Now I'm fucking you over in your match. We're going to go head to head, strings it along past Summer. You know what I mean? They have a big, literally Brock Lesnar-esque, and Cody takes down The Rock. Okay. And then he takes down Roman, where the stipulation is if Cody beats The Rock 1-on-1, there's no bloodline interference. He beats The Rock, and then, the bloodline comes down to interfere again for Roman, and The Rock comes down and stops them.
Yeah.
And Cody beats Roman. And something like that I can see them carry out. I think, listen, this was as poor as it gets. They should have never done this match at WrestleMania. You can only hurt Cody. There's nothing
100%.
to gain here for anybody. The Rock versus Roman.
Rock versus Roman.
Let it play out. Yeah, dude. People.
And then Cody beats Roman next year at WrestleMania.
It's dude.
Look, he's got to lose. I know Steve's big on like him losing at SummerSlam for some reason, but there's no way. There's no shot in hell he loses 45 days before he beats Hogan's record.
No. But you know how I feel about this. I do believe at some point a big title change has to happen in something else other than Mania. It has to happen if WWE wants to continue to get the viewership.
In all honesty, dude, they have to start changing titles at anything other than pay-per-views at some point.
I agree with that too.
You know what I'm saying? Like listen, I'm so tired of this. It's so predictable.
They did such a good job of building these titles up, man. I'm so happy we have all these long reigns because, dude, when the titles change, because listen, we do this all the time, right? We're always like, it's not gonna.
Yeah.
And it's been for every belt well over a year, right? So at this point, we're like, I mean, it's got to happen soon, right? So it's you're wondering who those titles are going to go to. But listen, man, I don't. Either way, I don't even think it's worth talking about what happens on the second night until we find out what happens on the first night.
I mean, you're probably not wrong, but my overall prediction for and this is kind of they're probably not going to do this, but this is my outside the box. Got to say it on record. This way, if it does happen, I'm a genius.
Okay.
Good thing. Is night 1, The Rock screws over Cody. I mean, screws over Roman. Cost them the match. No bloodline interference. Cody wins night 2.
Wow.
And that sets up Rock versus Roman for stabbing him in the back for the rest of the year. Until next WrestleMania. Now, again, probably not going to happen. But I want it on record this way. If it does, I'm a fucking genius.
I mean, listen, you're not like off the walls, right?
Yeah, it's not a crazy theory.
It's
not a
not.
crazy
It's a good one. It's a good one. It's a good one, bro.
It's
not
something I can see them actually doing if the Hogan thing is not really what they're going for,
which
right?
would blow my dick off my body. But go ahead.
Yeah, like if the Hogan thing is not really what they're going for, I think that this is the right storyline to do that. Right? Is do the swerve. Let The Rock fucking turn his back on Roman. He was with Cody the whole time. All these theatrics of him doing these promos and everything like that, they were all bullshit. He's been on Cody's side the entire time. Monday after Mania, he comes out and he starts talking to him about how Roman's disrespected the family and how he was with Cody the entire lays the whole thing out, how he played the tribal chief. And that causes the rivalry for the next year.
Yeah. Okay. I get it. I get it. I can't see Cody staying. I can't see Roman staying around with no belt.
I hear you on that. But the thing that would keep him is the fact that his cousin screwed him over like that. And he has to get retribution.
Could be.
Yeah.
That's
the thing that could keep him. But again, I mean, you're probably right. I believe as you do that they're pushing towards Hogan's record, which means any way you look at it, Roman stays champ until. Okay, maybe if you're right, if they don't do it at WrestleMania, then Survivor Series.
I think he's champion until forever. I'm keeping my fingers crossed he never loses the belt. Like forever. How do we make that happen?
I don't think that's possible, but Father Time is undefeated.
Yeah, I mean, it upsets me that I even have to think about that. He's the GOAT, dude. He's so fucking good, man.
Yeah.
He's the greatest.
Man, he has become the greatest. It is what it is. Haters can hate all they want. Again, you all know I've never acknowledged him, but I will say he's on the modern Mount Rushmore. I'll tell you that much.
He's so good, dude. He's so fucking good. I mean, bro, there's different things I would have done with him. Meaning,
I mean, listen, this whole storyline could have been very different 1,000 times over.
I wish, like, when he interrupted The Rock and made him acknowledge him, that's what I wanted to see the whole time. Meaning, like, he's sort of taken a little bit of a backseat, like when The Rock went in front of him and slapped Cody. I wish it was Roman.
Yeah.
Like as his tribal chief, he's protecting The Rock, right?
Yeah.
Like that would have been dope if
I just thought the slap on Cody was lame as it was because Cody didn't say anything.
No, of course not. It was a forced storyline, right? It
was so forced. It was so lame. It was so. I was just like, this is so dumb. I was so annoyed by that whole press conference where he was like, the High Chief Peter Maivia would be disappointed in you. And The Rock's like, that's my family you're talking about.
Yeah.
You didn't call him a dick. Like,
yeah.
He was saying you'd be disappointed in him. Like, he wasn't, if you're going to do it.
Yeah. No, yeah. I mean, listen, Cody, if that was the angle, Cody should have been like, that fucking moron sucked when he wrestled. You sucked. Like,
that would have made sense.
Yes. But the problem is you have to give Cody, like, you have to almost like you have to paint him as a bad guy, knowing like he didn't do anything bad, right?
Yeah. He's got to be the John Cena-esque babyface at this point.
Yeah,
like he's just got to be like that Boy Scout All-American, like, on the bar type of guy.
Cody, they're all, dude. Cody, I can't, dude. I struggle, man. I struggle with that. I struggle.
I know you do.
Mightily.
I see it in you though. You do like him.
I can't.
Deep down, like he gets to you because like you don't want to like him, but part of you does. I think that's really what it is.
Listen, you know what? I without saying something good, struggling here. What I respect, okay?
Yeah.
Because this is how I say it. You don't have to like me, but you have to respect me. So what I say is what I respect about Cody is he has come back and he's done great work. He's a worker, bro.
Yeah, he's definitely a worker.
He's a worker, and I respect the shit out of that. How you feel is how I feel about Cody. He's being forced down my fucking throat, bro.
Yeah, but Roman was forced down our throats for the whole.
But that's why I'm saying to
thing.
you, how you feel, right, is how I feel about him. So like when
Yeah.
he dun, 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 shut the fuck up already, you stupid ass song. Like it's so, it's so to me when the fireworks go off. Oh, I want the fucking stage to blow up. Like it gets me so mad, dude. But and then so what are you gonna talk about?
You were gonna go
So with his fucking lisp, like I
I
can't.
knew you were gonna go into this.
It just so, bro. It's too much for me. But he's a great wrestler in the ring. He does great work. He shows up a lot, bro. He's over. Can't deny any of that. He just pisses me
Yeah.
the fuck off.
I hear you.
What am I supposed to say? I don't
I
like
do
him.
too. I
I
get
don't
it.
like him. I wanted him to have the fucking torn tricep. You know?
Well, speaking of
Actually,
that, what I want to ask you is, do you think that this whole swerve on like how they're doing WrestleMania now is because Punk got injured?
of course.
You think so?
Yeah, Cody wasn't winning that match. He wasn't winning that, dude. Come on.
What match? Which one?
He wasn't. I don't think he was winning that Rumble. I think he got hurt, and I think they
Oh,
changed.
you don't think he was supposed to win the Rumble?
No,
Oh,
no,
that's interesting.
at all. I think
That's
because bro, when he won the Rumble,
I
everyone
guess.
was
I
like,
mean, yeah, Punk should have been the one to win. I'm trying to think about when Punk got injured. You know what I'm saying? But yeah, I guess Punk should have won the Rumble. I thought Punk was. We had talked about it when we talked about our predictions for Rumble that
mhm,
Punk was going to win the Rumble, call out
mhm.
Rollins, and then Cody was going to wind up in a match with Roman anyway.
So for me, I just thought that Cody wasn't going to win. He was going to be in the mix of like Punk and Rollins and him trying to lobby for that belt until we found a way to get him back with Roman, which wouldn't have been hard.
Mm-hmm.
And Roman was going to end up like maybe fighting McIntyre or something along those lines to keep his title run going, or The Rock, right?
Yeah.
And then all of a sudden we get an injury, and now everyone's scrambling.
I think that's
And
why
I
we got the tag match.
and I do think 100%, bro. I think he got hurt, and Punk was like, "You got to beat me. Like I'm
Yeah.
injured, can't move my arm. I felt the pop. We got you and I because they're veterans, dude. They're savvy. What's best for business?" And he was like, "We got to change this up. You got to beat me. I can't move my arm." And
Yeah.
and they did what was best for dude. You can't relive Balor Rollins twice over. You can't have a guy win the Rumble and get hurt.
Yeah.
And then you're like, well, he's not going to be back in time for WrestleMania. So there goes the Royal Rumble winner. The whole
That's
entire
definitely
match
true.
became irrelevant. So
That's true also.
so I did think Punk, because Punk's going to come back and get right in the title picture. So Punk's like, dude, just beat me.
Yeah.
Right? Like, he's going to come back. He's going to be the guy, whatever, blah, blah, blah. But I don't know, dude. I'm not, bro. I fucking hate all of them, man. I'm just a Roman guy. I just don't like any of them. I'm such a bad guy to talk to in this stuff. I just don't like any of them.
Nah, you are, because you can put it aside for a hot minute to have a conversation at least.
I know. It's
They go right back to being a fucking fanboy.
yeah, dude. I mean, Roman he's just godly, bro. Listen, you're big on this, man. Like character arc, right? And I like to throw that out there for anybody who knows, like Zuplex has been known for bringing things up like character arc, and that's why he falls in love with certain characters, or he'll say someone has no arc. Therefore, to him, he's a boring ass fucking toad. So I always argue what the definition of character arc means, and we have two different definitions of it. And for me, like to see Roman Reigns, right, go from where
Yeah.
he was to now.
He's got a good character arc. I never said Roman didn't have a bad character arc.
You didn't say that. I'm just saying, like, that's why, to me.
But you have to admit then that Cody has a good character arc too.
Legendary.
Yeah.
No doubt.
Yeah.
Legendary. But listen, he had to leave to come back to figure out, like, even with a lisp, he could be okay. Right?
Yeah.
Maybe not in my eyes. But yeah.
Leaving and coming back was part of the character arc. Same with Drew. Like when Drew left and came back.
Yep.
You know, he wound up. That's why I think we may see one more run in the WWE from Zack Schneider.
I would love him to.
Yeah, because he's doing
Zack Snyder,
crazy.
the director?
The director of Justice League. Yeah,
unbelievable.
Zack Snyder. Sorry,
I'd love to see that.
I just watched the Zack Snyder Joe Rogan podcast. That's why like he was in my head.
This guy's out to lunch, ladies and gentlemen. Drugs will do that.
But he's been doing crazy things on the indie scene. He is now claiming himself to be the indie god.
Let me ask you a question. Can you argue?
I don't know if there is a bigger name in the indies than him.
That's why I'm saying that. Can you argue?
Yeah, no, you might be right. So I think we could see him again come back.
Yeah. Listen, I think that it doesn't. We see this. It doesn't matter what someone says about WWE. If the timing is right and the money's right for WWE, they'll take anybody back. And CM Punk is the epitome of that.
Absolutely. Look, listen.
The shit that CM Punk said.
Yeah, 100%. But I think you know what I honestly think happened? The more and more this goes on, and we've had long discussions about CM Punk. And like I didn't agree with, you know, what he was doing over in AEW and everything like that. But seeing what a dumpster fire AEW is becoming, I really think what happened with Punk was he thought it was bad in the WWE. He left, took some time off, tried to become a UFC fighter, failed miserably at that, right? Like realized, oh, I can't really take punches to the face. And then went on to go to AEW and deal with probably the most unprofessional organization known to man.
Yes.
And realized, oh, that's why the WWE is the way it is.
Yes.
That's why they do things that way.
Yep.
They're not that bad.
That's why there's so many rules and policies and things in place.
I really think he had a change of heart after seeing like grass is always greener type of shit.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? I really do think that. And I think that's why he was able to get back to the WWE. I think it humbled him a little bit. I really do.
I agree, bro. Listen,
only time will tell, right? I might be 100% wrong about that. He might still be a dick.
Yeah.
But we'll see, man. You know.
SmackDown tonight. I know two things are happening now. It's 8:30. I'm getting on Warzone for some ranked.
Right.
And at the same time, I got to put SmackDown on. So, and then in 2 short weeks, we got Mania.
Yep.
So, you know, I don't know if
you live for Mania. We doing it?
Oh, come on, bro. Listen, if we're waking up at the crack ass of dawn for some dog shit, we're doing Mania.
I was gonna say, if we woke up at 5 a.m. for Elimination Chamber,
fuck my life.
If we don't do both nights of Mania, we're idiots.
Nah, we're in. But listen,
I might be doing the Hall of Fame again this year. I'm not sure.
I'm not sold on it so far. I mean, Paul Heyman's the only guy I would tune in for, and they haven't confirmed Bray Wyatt yet. It's
yeah. You know, I mean, Bull Nakano, Muhammad Ali. Yeah, I mean,
that's what I'm saying. That's what I'm saying.
It's not really an all-star. That's why I'm kind of on the fence if I want to even do it. But
yeah,
I want to see Heyman's speech is going to be epic.
Listen, what I think you should do is, I think for a little bit, at least just for an hour, get on some ranked, and then you could figure out the remaining of your night from that. That's all I'm saying. Take it for what it is.
All right, we'll see what we can do.
I have a short window tonight. You want to know why? Because I did promise K Sizzle that at 9:30 I'd link up with him, So I do have a short window with Hoagie Online, an hour to get like actual wins in before the dumpster fire happens. So, I don't have a lot, but
Well, I lost a lot of points over the last 2 nights. I'll tell you that much.
I have not. We've been killing it. We got great wins yesterday. I'm almost at diamond.
I've been doing this after 10:30 gig on Warzone, which apparently that's when the demon lobbies start.
Okay.
But
listen, the teams all I'm saying is this. When we play, we do well. All I'm saying. We are very successful. We leave, we move up in rank. I don't think we have that many bad matches, and I can confirm this on record. You and Ant both said we don't do this well with Gibbs with us. So I'm just saying, I don't care what rank and how much he kills people. I'm just saying. Gibbs ain't me, dog. So, when you're with the captain, we win, baby. Call me motherfucking Al Davis.
I'll make sure to tell them to tune into this.
So,
all right, I'll see you in a little bit.
All right, ladies and gents, catch us in 2 weeks, man. Let's go.
Thank you, everybody, for joining us for the Oversell Podcast. Deuces.
Acknowledge. Dude, we do like